And it looks like we are live.
Nice. I don't exactly think StreamYard is getting X comments, so I'll have our stream open on X.
Excellent.
Excellent. Right, let us...
All right, all right, all right. Here come the people. Hope it is a wonderful day in the neighborhood to one and all. It was nice to wake up on this morning and not see red.
Hey, the day is still early if you're a bear.
What does that make the day if you're a bull?
Potentially scary. Yeah, now I'm kind of over the bearish price action. I want us to go back to only up as soon as possible.
Only green, please.
Yes, sir. Yo, 7CD, G-Seed. All right, well, the YouTube comments are working, so that's good.
It's good.
All right, and I will go ahead and post this in our Discord server. If anyone's listening right now, yes, we do have a Discord server that you can find right on our bio on our X account. It should also be in the bio on YouTube too, if you expand the description.
And accessible from the legendary website, starseed.dev.
Yes. Of course. The website. The old powerful Starseed website. Here, what? All right. Discord message made. All right, I think we can give it another minute or so to let anyone come in from those announcements.
That sounds good. Very good indeed.
It's a G-Seed kind of morning.
It's not good when you have tokens like this one called unstable coin showing up in your top traded.
Oh boy, what's the volume looking like right now?
Oh, that one.
Like, do we need to bypass the Meteora slides and go straight to live trading? Like, is the volume juicy?
No, not that juicy,
Okay.
unfortunately.
All right, because I mean, if we have Yeezy levels of volume, I mean, it's out with the education. It's in with the fees, the juicy fees.
I mean, at that point, who needs education when you can just make fees?
Yeah, exactly.
Bill Gates dropped out of college.
That is true. That is very true.
It's not relevant to this conversation, but it's true.
It is true. That is the secret sauce to making fees, I think. Well, this is an aside from everything so far, but I did go long on Coinbase, and that is looking good right now.
Ooh.
That is looking very good.
I'm hoping
this is the bottom.
Is there a crypto variant that I can ape into?
I mean, there's that X coin stock, but I don't know. I'm iffy on X stocks. As far as options go, I feel like there was a platform that was doing it, but I forget what. I was kind of just waiting for Jupiter to do that as part of their gum initiative because that'd be kind of cool. But as far as I know, you could just DLMM Coinbase, which could be interesting. Let me get our YouTube link real quick. Some people were asking for that instead. And then I guess we can go ahead and get started.
Lit or rip.
Tater chip. All right. So we want to go to our live video. All right, cool. Link sent out. And yeah, I guess we can go ahead and get started.
Perfect.
All right, everyone. So this is our second session of Starseed Academy, where we just go over the basics of DLMMing on Meteora and using our platform, Starseed Command, to do all that. I'm the CEO here at Starseed, Batman, and I'm joined here by our beautiful COO, Vaughn Razor, and we'll be your host today, going over to start some slides on Meteora, and then going into some live trading and Q&A that you can ask either on our YouTube channel or on our X account. And it'll be fairly, hopefully, juicy live trading session, but if not, we'll just go over the basics of setting up Starseed Command, which you will see in a bit. But essentially, Starseed Command is what we consider a one-stop shop trading experience that tries to unify all the essential crypto tools that you find here in Solana into one customizable dashboard. So we offer a lot of great widgets, such as like charting, top pools for DLMMing, opening up DLMMs, looking at your perpetuals and their performance on stuff like Jupiter. We have a custom token swap widget. We have a lot of things that allow you to really manage your positions very well, especially DLMM positions. And it's fantastic for that. It's a great seamless experience, and you don't have to juggle around a bunch of tabs. This is what it really looks like right here. That's our motto: your dashboard, your rules. Set it up the unique way that you want to. Of course, here we have a little default layout that comes with the platform that you can select, but you can move things around. You can remove widgets that you don't like. You can add stuff here and there. It's a very great customizable experience. Is there anything you wanted to add, Razor, before I moved on?
Yeah, I think you can move on.
All right, perfect. All right, so this is our seed token as well, and the utility that you get with using our platform. Essentially, you'll get a reduction in fees on our platform the more tokens that you hold. And the fee is only on profits earned. So say you put in like $100,000 into our platform, you earn $50 in fees. We only charge you the fee on that $50. So it's not a fee on how much you're putting in or how much you're taking out necessarily. It's just on the profits. But of course, there's also the open and close fee, which is also a very small amount. And if you're earning any amount of fees, you're probably not going to feel that. And of course, we're continually adding utility to our token. And if anyone tuned in to the Microcap Gem Show yesterday, we actually hinted at and gave a lot of alpha regarding our next phase, which is automation, which is stuff like take profit stop losses, full on rebalancing, stuff like that. So when that comes around, the seed token will actually be very, very beneficial to you, as it'll give you a lot more workers and ability to open up a lot of positions using that automation. But let's go on. So, what is Meteora? So, Meteora is a liquidity providing platform that centers around three main staples. So, you've got your DLMMing, which we'll go into more detail in the next slide. And then you've got the DAM or the DAMM V1 and V2. So, the DLMM or dynamic liquidity market making basically allows you to give concentrated liquidity on various tokens and then earn fees on it. Whereas your DAM V1 and DAM V2 is more similar to your typical automated market makers that you would find on things like, I don't know, Radium or Orca. Um, with DAM V2 being a slight difference in that it kind of concentrates liquidity a bit more than the V1. And the V1, they also lend out those funds to yield bearing protocols like Camino to generate additional yield. Oh, hey, Hashiraman, nice GM. And then we've got our launchpad section of Meteora, where a lot of platforms use their tech stack in order to essentially become a launchpad. So, for example, we launched with the Believe platform, and they utilize the DBC in order to essentially have tokens launch on this sort of price curve, which is pretty fantastic actually, because it has a lot of cool features such as anti-sniper technology. But yeah, that's pretty much a brief overview of what Meteora is. For the most part, most people are likely playing the DLMMs or the DAM V2. And in fact, actually, for the second round or the second season of airdrop, Meteora airdrop for their Met token, it seems like they're prioritizing the DAM V2. So that's definitely something people should probably look into at some point. But we can move on here. So, what are DLMMs? Like I said, they're dynamic liquidity market makers. It uses concentrated liquidity in specific price ranges, and we'll go into that into a little bit more detail later on. But it's great because whenever you provide liquidity in those bins, it's essentially zero slippage bins for people trading into it, and you earn fees on that, which is absolutely fantastic. And on a really, really, really high volume token, it can be an insane amount of fees in just a very short time. Like the Yeezy token, if anyone played that or looked into it a few days ago, that was a fantastic play. But this is the DLMM window that you're going to be met with when you are looking at Meteora. We kind of broke it up into multiple parts here, just so we can easily go over each section. So the first one, it's a token pair. That's the token that you're going to be, or the pair that you're going to be opening this pool in. We put a little reminder down here just so it's easy to understand um, uh, the layout of these bins and these pools. So typically for the Sol USDC, you can think of Sol as token A and USDC as token B. But that is going to be your token pool pair. And then 2 is the 24-hour fee for TVL. And honestly, this one I tend to ignore myself on a lot of these tokens because it can be easily influenced by volume that happened uh, way earlier in the day. And that TVL is likely not true, especially on a lot of meme coins. It's like an average over the day, so it's not that great. And depending on how tight or wide your range is, you can either underperform or outperform that TVL, 24-hour TVL percent. I think the only time it probably is okay is on something like Sol USDC, where it's like an insane amount of liquidity and generally a pretty okay volume or consistent volume uh, day over day. So that's the only time I would kind of pay attention to it. Three is pool information. This is fairly important information as we'll go over. And then four, the liquidity providing info, which is also very important because that's what you use to initiate positions. But yeah, here is the pool information window. So you've got a few important stats on here: bin step, base fee, max fee, protocol fee, dynamic fee, and the 24-hour fee. The 24-hour fee, we kind of uh, touched upon that when we were looking at the 24-hour fee per TVL, but this is essentially the total fees that this pool has generated in the past 24 hours, which is a great metric to sometimes look at just to see if it is actually a pool that's performing well. And then the bin step up top, this is the price difference between each bin. And we'll go into greater detail here because it's actually a very important topic. And then you've got the base fee, and this is just the minimum fee that you earn when trades go through your pool. So here you see a 0.2%. That means on each swap that goes through this pool, as long as it's in one of your active bins, you'll be earning a 0.2% fee on that swap, which is absolutely fantastic. And of course, now with the new base fee that Meteora has introduced, you can actually go up to 10% base fee, which is absolutely wild. So the max fee here is the max fee that the pool can run up to. And the protocol fee is 5% of the dynamic fee. And the dynamic fee is going to fluctuate whenever there's volatility in the pool, essentially. So if there's crazy high volume and high volatility, you'll see a tick up on the dynamic fee, which makes the base fee increase. And depending on how crazy the volume is, the base fee can, like I said, go up to that max fee. I've never seen it actually go up to 10%, but I've definitely seen it go up at least maybe 1.5 to 2x, whatever the current base fee is. But that's pretty much this slide and what you need to know here.
So basically, I think the most important pieces of information you'd want to look at just at a snapshot level is, well, you want to know what the bin step is, depending on your strategy. But in terms of knowing how you're going to make money, you want to be thinking about the base fee, because you know that's going to be the floor of the fee that is going to be charged, and then the dynamic fee to know whether there's any crazy volatility right now and like if the pool is looking especially attractive right now for liquidity.
Yep, agreed. So we can go ahead to the next slide here. So this is your liquidity providing window. This is pretty basic. So the top part, you're just going to be seeing the total liquidity that you put in and the fees that you earned. And then your current balance and then your unclaimed swap fee. And your current balance will fluctuate depending on where on the price range that the token is. So that will fluctuate up and down. And then this is also an important one. So this is the three main strategies that you can employ on Meteora. Now, of course, if you're looking at crypto Twitter, specifically Meteora crypto Twitter, you'll see a lot of people, they employ various different strategies together, like the heart attack strategy, which is a really tight curve and stuff like that. But generally, this is how they function here, in that you have the spot, curve, and bid ask. So spot, I think, is really beginner friendly in that it is just a uniform distribution of your liquidity across all the bins. Whereas curve, I'd say, should be used for someone that's a bit more seasoned, that probably has a good idea on how to handle risk and handle their trades, because whatever the current price is, it'll concentrate the most liquidity there. which means if you do get scaled into a token, say you're doing soul-sided or token A-sided, which means you'd be B here on all of these images. If you're doing token-sided there, and you get scaled in on a curve, you're going to have the highest cost basis. So if it doesn't run back up, you're actually at more of a loss if you have to capitulate or sell your tokens on a curve. And then bid ask is also, I'd say, fairly beginner friendly, in that it concentrates most of your liquidity on the furthest end of your range away from the current price. So that one, if it does work against you and you do get scaled into the token, you'll have the lowest cost basis with bid ask. So if you wanted to buy a token as well, this is a fantastic strategy because you're getting the lowest cost basis for that token while also earning fees, which is absolutely fantastic for something like this. So let's go ahead on the next one, unless you had something to add there, Razor.
Well, I mean, I think there's I guess in general, I'd say all these strategies and all these tactics that you can do with DLMMing are relatively high risk, but I think you're right that curve is generally more riskier, given that you have the ability to quickly lose a lot of value to impermanent loss. But I think all these strategies and what you choose to employ is highly contingent on whatever the price action is currently for the whatever token you're speculating on.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Because it's very nuanced in that sense, where even bin step matters for something like this in terms of getting fees. Um, and we can go into that in greater detail when we do the live trading. But this is also an important one. So this is the bin step breakdown. So like we said, bins are kind of where you allocate all your liquidity in each of these various bins. Your liquidity will be spread across them. And right now with the current Meteora update, you can do up to 1,400 bins per position. And this is up from the 69 from before. So you actually have a lot of fidelity here in order to capture a huge range. Now, of course, that also means an increased amount of fees the closer you get to the 1,400 bins. So for me personally, I don't think I ever go quite above 200 or 300 bins, just because I think I'd be paying like close to a soul in fees on some of these. Um, but essentially this is how it works, and we broke it down with a few math examples here. So for example, if you do a 4 bin step pool, that means the difference between each individual bin here, which is like these purple lines, it's a 0.04% difference between them, meaning that you're actually capturing a very, very tight range, which means you're capturing a lot more price action. But of course, that also means that you're capturing a smaller percent of the chart, which, like for example, for 20 bins, you're capturing about 12% up and down, depending on how tight that range is, up to 12%. Whereas with a 4 bin or 5 bin, I think it's somewhere around what, like 3% or something like that. Um, so you've really got to think about what kind of bin step you want to use, just because that plays a huge part in this. So, like, if you did uh, a 4 bin step, but you wanted a 12% coverage on the chart, you're going to have a lot less liquidity in each of those bins, compared to if you just did a 20 bin. But of course, it covers less price action, as you can see from the calculations here. Like for 100 bin, for example, you start at $199.80, but then each tick is almost a $2 spread. So essentially, you'd be capturing fees and volume every $2 that Sol moved. Whereas if you did the 4 bin, you're getting it like every couple cents.
So there's a lot of different choices in terms of bin steps for pools. When would I choose and select a 400 bin versus 100 bin versus a 20 bin? And would I ever switch between different pools with different bin steps?
Yeah. See, so I have somewhat of a hot take regarding that. So I prefer to go in, no matter the market cap, into a 20 bin 0.2% or now a 5 bin 1% pool, and just make use of the 1,400 bins. But of course, that becomes more of a whales game, I think, where you want to have, like, if you're going in a 5-1 pool, right? You're probably wanting to get at least like zero point 0.1 soul into each bin, which means you're going to have to put up a lot of capital. I think, generally speaking, the with the lower market caps, you probably want to go higher bin step just because it's a lot more volatile and you're pumping up and down maybe like 100K market cap plus in just a second. Like you're having at least 5-10% price movements, right? So somewhere there, I think maybe 100 bin step or 400 bin step is great. And the higher you go up into market cap, and the less volatile it gets, then I would probably move down to the lower bin step, lower fee, just so you remain competitive with everything else. Though I think the beauty about a lot of these projects that are launching through the Meteora DPC is that you can actually kind of get away with doing some of the higher fee pools because you're not really having to be competitive with Radium, I think, from what I've seen, or Orca or any of those other aggregators.
Regardless, there's fees to be made.
Yes, there are. Well, how do you play bin steps typically?
I think that if you are in those smaller market cap tokens, say up to 400,000 market cap, it is more attractive to be able to use a 400 bin step or a 200 bin step pool. Because even with a 200 bin step pool, you can capture about like a 70% price dip. And there's a lot more security that way in being able to capture the crazy volatility, but also to protect yourself in case the token suddenly starts to rapidly depreciate in price.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
So I think there's, especially at lower market cap tokens, a lot more reasons to use higher bin steps. And then as the price slowly becomes less volatile and evens out between 500,000 and 1 million plus, like move to that 100 bin stepped pool, which can be a good daily driver for capturing a lot of that volume and fees. Eventually, though, you get to something where the tokens had a long lifespan. The swings are not as crazy anymore. That's when your 20 bin step can come into play, and you're able to capture more of the micro movements that really keep your pool competitive against Radium, Orca, etc.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a good take. From what you've seen, what do you think is the most popular bin steps?
I feel like the most popular bin steps, I mean, 100 bin step, 125 bin step is probably the most frequently used pool.
Yeah.
But
For
I
like
think,
the lower than 1 million market cap tokens?
yeah.
Mhm.
But I think there is a lot of advantages to looking at some of, especially now that with the newer dynamic ranges that Meteor allows you to do, putting up to 1,400 bins in a position. If putting 1,400 bins in a single position increases your refundable costs, and I think we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But if you're able to stretch out your position to more bins, it becomes more attractive to just stick and get into the 20 bin step as soon as possible, especially if you do have a bit more of a war chest and capital that you want to put into a position. Because you don't have to deal with multiple positions anymore. You can just keep it all in one, have a wider range, and capture and funnel more of the volume through your range versus going through someone else's 100 bin step range. But that's a bit advanced, I suppose, to be getting into right now.
Yeah, no, I guess we can go into that kind of philosophy during the live trading if we see anything juicy. But yeah, so let's move on. Good stuff. So this is the last part of the Meteora window, and it's the liquidity providing window. So this is basically where you will enter into a position. So here you've got your bins that we saw from the previous slide in this purple. And below that, you have these gray bars, and that's how much liquidity you have in each bin relative to everyone else in the pool. So when you hover over it, it will say you own X% of this bin. So whatever fees you get in that bin is going to be a percentage of how much you own of it. And you just get stuff. Then that's basically how it works for every single bin here. Essentially, if you wanted a quick look at it, essentially the smaller the vertical bar, or the shorter the vertical bar, the more fees you're going to get in that specific range. And then you've got the min and max price here. The min price is just the bottom end of your range, and then the max price is the top end of your range. And that's just from whatever the current price is. If you are going, say in this example, you're going USD sided or B sided, token B, you will only pay attention to the min price. The max price doesn't matter. The max price applies to token A, in this case, Sol. But if you're doing both, then obviously you want to pay attention to both the min and max price. And so, like we said, positions up to 1,400 bins. When you look at the Sol needed to create this one position, definitely pay attention to that. Just because if the bins haven't been created yet, there's going to be a non-refundable cost in order to open them. And that can get quite costly with the 1,400 bins if you aren't paying attention to that. Just because in the past, it would stop you at, or it would like easily tell you actually if you were going over. But here it's easy to miss that. And then you have your refundable renting fees. But of course, if you're opening a lot of positions, you likely have non-refundable costs that you need to pay attention to. All right. And then the next one, just want to give a shout out to LP Army. They're a community of liquidity providers, great guys. We have a channel there too if anyone wants to chat about Starseed. Heavy Metal Cook, we always got to give a shout out to him if we're doing anything education related. He really kicked off the boot camps for Meteora and LP Army. We give somewhat of a cursory fast look at Meteora, whereas his will be a lot more in depth. You can even get a nice little role for it. So definitely check out his boot camp if you want to learn more. But of course, you can also just ask us either on X or Discord or YouTube, wherever. We're happy to teach and go into greater depth if you need it. But let's move on. So this is basically discussion and questions. If you have any, just leave them in the chat. We'll answer them as we go on. Either any material you have on the education or any material when we're doing the live trading. Everything is fair game here. So I guess with that, we can go ahead and move on to our live trading session on how to use Starseed. In which case, are you ready, Razor?
Let's send it over to our live trading stage.
All right, cool. Perfect. All right, so this is the bread and butter here. So this is our Starseed Command. This is actually fully decked out with all the bells and whistles right now. Do we want to start off with the blank slate maybe?
Yeah, so this is what you're going to see if you've got this is actually our default layout for widgets on the Starseed Command trading platform. The beauty about Starseed Command is that you're able to set and create your trading dashboard to set whatever style or preferences you like. Maybe you like your price charts on the right of your screen. I don't know. Choose your flavor, choose your path. But the first time that you come to the Starseed Command, you're going to have a blank page like this one with no widgets added. And you're able to select from that default layout, which was just what I was on, or you could use a layout that's more featured specifically to a scale out tool that we have and can talk about a little later. But if you don't want the default layout, you can add widgets individually by either clicking this button here or by clicking Add Widget in the top right corner of your dashboard. So we have about 10 different widgets that you can stock up your dashboard with. I think some essentials for DLMMing include the price chart widget, because you need to know, I think that's one of the beauties of a platform like Starseed, is that you can manage your LP and watch charts and track the performance of pools all from one place without needing to switch to different windows. So having a price chart widget's really powerful to that end. One of our most important widgets on Starseed is the LP positions widget. That is what you use to actively manage and track your DLMM LP positions. So you put that on your screen, and if you have active positions, they should pop up in some little bit of a few moments. Other important widgets that you can put onto your screen, you'll want to have a Jupiter swap widget. This is what you can use to swap tokens. Maybe if you're interested in DLMMing a token like Launchcoin, you could buy some Launchcoin, swap some SOL into Launchcoin, and then open a DLMM that's two-sided, so that you're putting up liquidity for both of those tokens and can kind of capture some of that volume, whether you're going up or down in the chart. Let's see some other good ones. Maybe it's one of the widgets that we should spend a bit of time talking about is our top pools widget.
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Let's see, I'm just making the top pools widget a little bigger. Now it's pulling the data from our system to populate top pools. This is a widget that you can use to identify which DLMM pools are really hot right now and are generating a lot of fees. This can be a tool that you use to scan for different, if you're interested in going into a token, I have the Launchcoin chart pulled up right now, and you want to know what the best pool is for Launchcoin, you're actually able to filter through Starseed's top pool widget to figure that question out. So you can click the gear in the top pools widget, input the CA for any token you're interested in, and apply any other filters you want. Maybe you only want to do 100 bin step pools, but I'm just going to keep these options open so we can see all the available pools for Launchcoin. You put that in, and then you'll get to see how all of the different pools have been performing for Launchcoin in the last hour. And right now, the market's a little bit sideways. There isn't a whole lot of volume going up and down and through the pool for Launchcoin. So it's not generating as many fees, but you still are able to tell here that the 20 bin step 0.2% fee pool is experiencing the most volume, has a lot of liquidity in it, and is generating the most fees. So this is going to be a powerful tool that you use to identify which tools are effective, generating fees, and you're able to compare and contrast against some of the other options that are available. If I remove that filter, we can take a look at the general market. One thing you can do with top pools is change the return period for some of the data and results. So if you're interested in just seeing what's really generating fees right here, right now, you can open up top pools, switch it to a 5-minute timer, and then you'll see some of the pools that are generating volume and fees right now. Sometimes people can use this as a way to get a sense of what's happening in the overall market. Right now, we're pretty sideways in terms of the BTC and your major altcoins. So like right now, the Solana USDC pool is generating some more fees. But sometimes you can also look at other tokens and see how well they're doing, or in this case, not doing. I think one thing that's important when you're thinking about entering a position in any DLMM pool is that you can't do it blindly. If someone gives you a call in a Telegram or in a Discord, or if you're using a tool to scout different token options, you got to be careful and you've got to look at the chart, because if you just go in blindly, you might go into a token where there is no upside and there is only downside, and you want to avoid those. But you always have to perform your due diligence.
Yep. I guess it's also a good point to expand one of these and show them the suggested ranges, and we can talk about that.
Sure thing. Sure thing. So one token I was looking at yesterday is this Flipper token, which is
performing well. Oh my God, that really ran.
Yeah, this one's been running. Flipper is a prediction market token. So this one's had a lot of price appreciation in the last few days, and it could be a good candidate if you were interested in scaling into a position at some point. But something that is useful with Starseed is that our algorithm provides suggested ranges on where to enter your DLMM positions. So if you look at any of these cards in the top pool widget, you're able to expand them, and you'll get to see what Starseed's suggested range is. Again, this is another matter of just a suggestion. You still need to perform your own due diligence to see if that's the type of position you want to engage in. Change my price to the price of the token on my chart. And if you click on the open position range and you want to open a position, you can input some SOL. You can then see on this next screen is that Starseed will actually automatically input your range details into the price deviation boxes. So that makes it super easy if you just wanted to go with Starseed's suggestions to click that button, put in your tokens, and then you could quickly enter a position.
Yep. Though the main reason that we put this in here was to offer a guiding hand for people. So it's by no means something you need to follow as gospel and essentially follow blindly. Like, we don't want that. Like, we still want you to do your due diligence. And a lot of times when we're giving you these ranges, just like, hey, look at this range specifically. There could be something interesting here. But of course, you can make it even tighter, or you can make it even wider than what we say. Like, you don't have to listen to it exactly.
Yeah, and in this case, like, the market's been going a little bit sideways today. I don't think I'm going to do a 2% range on this one. That'd be extremely tight. The market cap on this token's, pretty big actually, 23 million. But we're kind of in a downward trend right now, and so a 2% price range would be a little bit extreme on this particular token.
Yeah, and it also, like, you can kind of see the massive green candles. It ran up fast, and whenever you have a fast run up like that, and you'll see this in traditional markets too, it's typically going to cool off just as fast. You typically need some kind of good consolidation.
Something that you'll notice, aside from the top pools widget, you'll notice that I've been zooming around the page and clicking a lot of different buttons. You'll see on a lot of these widgets is that we have quick icons here that let you copy the CAs for any of the tokens we're looking at. And there's also this chart icon that looks like kind of like a mountain, I suppose. But you click those icons and you're able to copy the CA or quickly pull up the chart for any token that you're interested in. So I just pulled up the chart for Light, and that one might be a decent token to DLM into if you're interested in some fees.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'll be opening up a position today on that, but that one,
a light token.
Light token, yes. Okay, let's see.
We do have a question pop up from Butter. It's the cost of using Starseed. If you don't mind, Razor, I'm just going to pull up our slide again with our fee breakdown, and
Sure
then I'll
thing.
transition back to you. So this is our breakdown, Butter. And Andrew, thank you. Thank you for all your support so far and answering that question. But I'll showcase it here too. So essentially, this is our breakdown here. Like Andrew said, it's 2.5% when you don't own any tokens on just your profits. And of course, you get a discount the more seed you own. Um, but that's typically the breakdown here. And I don't know if you heard before, but when automation does come out, so we're going to be adding stuff like take profit, stop loss. We're going to be having full on position management through hopefully swapless rebalancing. Having a certain number of seed tokens will help with that in both fee reduction and just having more workers do things for you. But that's essentially the cost breakdown. So I guess we can go back to the trading session. Good to switch back to your browser, Razor. Oh,
Yeah,
perfect.
we're back in the saddle. Let's see. Okay, I guess we could talk a little bit about opening DLMM positions now, since you just talked about some of those very small fees.
Yes, yes.
2 tokens I've been sort of scoping out on the side while you were presenting earlier, Batman, is there's this Braveheart token that's had some pretty decent price action and is actually touching on all-time highs right now. I actually tried opening a bid ask earlier, but quickly went out of range, and that's 1 token.
Yeah, I saw that pop up. It's decent volume. It's decent volume, decent market cap too.
Yeah. Plus, given that we are in a bit of a sideways market today too, like you can see with our Jupiter Pro top traded widget, I'm able to actively watch different tokens and to see at any point in time which tokens are experiencing volume. I think in general, the minimum amount of volume that you'd want to look for in terms of low market cap tokens is having more than $100,000 in volume over a 5-minute period. That's at minimum. Ideally, you want much more because then there's a lot more activity with the token, and your DLMM positions are able to attract more of the volume and earn you more fees. But this is a good baseline in terms of having, if you're setting parameters for yourself about whether to engage or not engage. Sometimes 100,000 volume can be a good minimum.
And even for that type of volume, are you still going to go into the higher bin step pools, even if it's a lower market cap? Or do you try to go a lower bin step just to potentially capture a bit more price action? Because for me, I think I'm more degen, I guess, maybe. And I'd open up like a 5-1 pool or a 20 bin step, 0.2% fee pool.
Well, if you did I guess it depends on what your strategy is going to be and how long you're going to be in the position. Like, and when he said 5-1, when Batman said 5-1, what he means is that he would do a 5 bin step 1% pool, which I think is extremely tight. Like,
And I mean, I've oh man, like on a few positions, I think I've paid 1 sol in non-refundable fees in order to open up a full range similar to say like a 20 bin step or higher. So I mean, yeah, it's pretty costly, I'd say. But I just like I like when the price moves through my bins, man. I
I
like
mean,
watching it go up and down.
it is fun to watch the bins
Yeah.
go up and down and get that fees. It's very
Yeah.
addictive.
It is, it is. Speaking of, Braveheart, though, that is actually a decent candidate right now.
I think so. So let's talk about opening a position on Braveheart. You can open positions on Starseed through a few different ways. The best one in this case is to use our DLMM pools widget. So this is a widget that I got here on my dashboard. You're able to input the CA and you'll be able to see a list of every available pool. So with Starseed, you're not able to right now create new pools. So if I wanted to do that super degen 5-1 pool that Batman was talking about, I'd have to go through Meteora's website first to create that pool and pay those non-refundable fees myself. But if I just wanted to open a pool based on whatever's available, and I think with a relatively new token like Braveheart, that's relatively low market cap, 1.5 million, I think we've got some good options here. So in the Braveheart pools, you can see some of the active TVL volume that the pools are experiencing and the fees that they're earning. It seems that people have generally gravitated towards the 125 bin step 1.5% fee pool, which is an interesting one. I don't think I've seen a 1.5% pool before, but
I have not either.
So maybe this will become this will become the new meta.
Yeah, 1.5% fee pools. Okay.
So I know what pool I think I want to go into. Let's look at the chart real quick and do a little bit of light TA to figure out how big of how wide of a range I should use with this pool right now. So I've got my price chart open. I'm on the token. I'm using the 1 minute time frame right now. I think we'll switch to 1 second. Actually, I'm going to go back to 1 minute. 1 minute. Let's capture the last 30 minutes or so of the token. So what's cool is that we have our price chart widget. It's powered by GMGN, which means that they have a lot of different indicators available for you to manually apply to your chart. If you like EMA clouds, you could probably set that up. The widgets that we typically use when doing this quick type of technical analysis is the volume profile visible range. And that indicator is what gets me all of these blue and yellow rows on the right side of my screen. This is indicative of where all the volume is happening in the token. So buys and sells, you're able to kind of track. Great, there's a lot of price action kind of between this 1.2 million market cap level and 1.5 million market cap window. It kind of tatered off before we got all of these big green candles and concentrated at below 1 million and 850K.
Yep. And then also, I guess that one little red line, if you're looking at it, that's just the point of control. And that's just the area of highest volume on whatever time frame you're looking at with that volume profile.
Yep. So it seems right now I've missed the apex of all of the price action by trying to describe everything before just aping into the position. So at this point, like I probably wouldn't do a super tight curve just because the volume's tatering off a little bit. We're back to 120K per 5 minute volume. But if you wanted to open a position, you could look at a spot position maybe to kind of capture some of that current range, or a bid ask if you think that it's going to dump off at some point and there's going to be a lot of sells and you want to capture that sell volume through your pool. I think in this case, I'm going to open up a spot position and maybe go 20%. Let's see. Let me open up this quick.
Yeah, maybe down to like what, 1 mil or 900K.
Yeah, I'm thinking about, because I'm looking like there's not, there hasn't been a whole lot of volume here because it's been just green candles up.
Yeah.
So we have a little bit of a support point here at around 1 mil, 900 some K. So I'm going to do that, I think. I'm going to look at this 125 bin step 1.5% fee pool. When I want to open a position through Starseed, again, I'll go through the DLMM pools widget, input my CA, and select my pool. Press that plus button to begin the process. So here on this first screen, you can select the amount of tokens that you want to put into your position. I'm going to put in 2 SOL into this position. On the next screen, you'll pick your range. So what you'll see here is we've got what we call price deviation. Just think of when you see price deviation, that's the percent range that you want to create. So if I want to go down to about 1 million, that's what, maybe a 25-ish% price deviation. If I just eyeball that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put in a price deviation of 25% here. And what that means is that from the current price of the pool where we're at, which this is just in SOL right now, if you open a SOL-sided position, it'll cover a 25% dip. Then what you'll want to think about is the slippage tolerance, for the liquidity slippage tolerance. If you're in a super stable pool like SOL USDC, you'll want to use a really small slippage tolerance for your liquidity. But if you're in something that's a little more volatile, you might need to increase the slippage tolerance. Batman, would you like to explain like why liquidity slippage tolerance is important?
Yeah, so slippage is just going to be the difference between the current price and the price you might accept. So obviously, the bigger the slippage, the higher the price differential between current price that you're accepting. So if you do like 50% slippage, I mean, you could get wrecked pretty bad. I think from what we've seen for the most part, going up to 5% is fairly safe with this sort of stuff. Anything higher than that, probably not useful and just increases risk. Right. I don't think I've ever gone above, personally, I haven't ever gone above, I think 1 or 1.5%. And I've been fairly lucky. But I think you sometimes go up to 5%, right?
I'll go up to 5% on some really hot, I'll go up to 5% on some really hot volatile tokens if like we have more than $500,000 of volume in a minute. That'd be such a high amount of volume that it's really difficult to get a position in. And typically, well, it's like in a situation where the chart is only going up, I don't have tokens, I'm entering SOL-sided, and I'm just trying to scrape out something. But yeah, most of the time you'd get away with 1%, 1.5%. So 7CD asked a question: how many percent did I set for the lower bound of the position? For this Braveheart position, I did a 25% minimum price deviation so that I could capture sell-off pressure up to 25% of this current price level. So I opened up my Braveheart position. It's showing up in my LP positions widget right now. Maybe I captured the bottom of the curve, which is unfortunate, but hey, at least I'm not losing. And we're pumping.
Hey, you got some fees there, man.
I did get some fees, so that is exciting. So let's say you've had a successful trading session with your Braveheart token, and you're ready to call it a day. You're ready to sell it off. Well, we have this powerful tool within the LP positions widget called Clip It. Other Meteora calls it Zap Out, but the idea is that you're going to take all your tokens that you've earned through your fees, or if you're in the middle of your position and you've got some SOL, you've got some Braveheart, you can use Clip It to quickly exit your position and sell everything off, convert everything into SOL. And we do that by bundling all of the transactions together. That makes it super quick and super easy for you to exit a position, swap everything to SOL. And you might want to do that maybe to make your life just a little bit easier, to have to manage less transactions. But you might also do this if the token price is dumping and you just want to get out of a position really, really fast. So I'm just going to demonstrate this tool with the Braveheart position I've got open since I'm out of range. So I can press the Clip It button through the LP positions widget, swap it to SOL. and you'll get a phantom transaction that pops up on your screen, or Soulflare, whatever your wallet of choice is. You won't see that on my screen because I've only got the Starseed Command window open, but you'll convert that transaction, and you'll see at the top of the screen is that you've successfully clipped your position. And you can verify that. I always verify it just as a precaution. Like going into your Jupiter swap widget and putting in the CA and seeing like, oh, maybe there's a little bit of dust that didn't get swapped over, and then you could swap over any residuals into Sol. And that's how you use Clip It.
Cool. If that dust doesn't leave, I guess we could use that to show scale out.
Yeah, we could take a look at that real quick.
And essentially, scale out is a new feature we released recently that lets you scale out of any position that's in your wallet, or any token that's in your wallet very easily. So even we went through a lot of information here, like with the bin steps, with the how to open up a DLMM and all that. And if that's just a lot, like too much, it's so cumbersome, it's a lot to digest, and you still don't know where to start, this could be a good starting point, really, because we have a lot of options where a person can just easily click whatever they want to scale out of, click a few buttons, and then they'll be able to initiate a DLMM position on whatever they have in their wallet. And I think, are you about to enter back into?
I'm watching the chart for Braveheart right now, and thinking about going back in, but the volume's teetered off a little bit. I'm just watching to see if we hit a new all-time high.
I think it may have wicked to a new all-time high for like a brief second.
It did for a brief second, but I want more.
I want more.
Okay, so I'm going to enter a new Braveheart position with a 33% price deviation. And I'm going to do a spot. And we'll just see how that goes. All right, position opened. So let's talk about scaling out right here, right now. So what we have here in Starseed Command is that one of our default layouts is specifically optimized for scaling out. If you're new to DLMMs and you just want to open a position to scale out your tokens, this can be a great way for you to quickly get your seat in the saddle. So let's use Braveheart real quick. I've got, as you can see in my token holdings, I've got my Braveheart tokens right here. And the scale icon right here is what you use to initiate your scale out. You hit that scale button, and this window appears, which directs Starseed to quickly determine what the top pool is for this position. We already know that it's going to be the 125 step 1.5% pool. And then you can select your strategy for scaling out. If you are in a rush to exit your position because you're concerned the token's about to dump, you could use the fast option. That'll set a 1% price deviation to quickly sell off all your tokens in the quickest pool possible. But maybe you are a Braveheart whale and you are super bullish about the token and you want to capture more of the upside while earning some of those sweet DLMM fees. For you, we have the slow and steady option, which will create a bid-ask pool with a 10% range. So this is something where you're able to set it and forget it for a little bit. If you're hoping to capture fees as you slowly exit your position on the upside. In this case, just because I want to quickly show you what that looks like, I'm going to use fast. You can select on this page what percentage of your position you want to use in scale out. And this is just some confirmation information.
Yep. And of course, if you are privy to things about using the LMMs, you can just hit back here, and then you'll be able to edit per. Or maybe it's one of the screens.
You have to open the create position,
yep.
then
And then
click
you can hit back here, and then you can edit the parameters here.
Yep. Create your position. You'll get your wallet transaction screen that pops up. And I just opened that position. So soon we'll have 2 Braveheart positions on our screen.
Yes. And it should be noted, though, if you are using scale out, you do need volume in the token to scale you out. So if token is relatively slow, like you're playing it on something that doesn't typically have a lot of volume right away, you probably will have to wait a bit, even if you select the fast option. The fast in this case is usually just because it's doing a 1% price capture to the upside. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be scaled out in like a second. But of course, if there's a lot of volume, then you probably will be.
And the real advantage,
and I think you just got out of range with that pump.
I did. Yeah.
Oh my God, the scale out worked.
Now it's not gonna be obvious, and you're not gonna really see or notice that in this case because my position was worth only 7 cents. But yeah, as you can see, it's like, oh, I'm through my quick 1% range. I'm already basically scaled out, and then I'm now soul sided instead of token sided. I can close the position and get everything back. So I'm hitting the close button here. I have my wallet transaction that I'm just approved. Close the position, and I guess I could open the P&L on see what the P&L is on a 7-cent position. But let's watch and see what happens with my active Braveheart position. And ooh, that is a juicy green wick.
Oh my God, yeah, massive buy.
So I had my range set between 1 million about and 1.5 million.
So you should be getting scaled out soon, right?
I should be about out of range. Yep. It might take a moment yet, because I have to wait for the volume to go through my pool.
Yep.
But I am probably had a pretty decent trading experience with this.
Yeah, I guess this would be a good time to explain. So why it's not totally scaled you out, even though it's above your range. So this is a pump token, and Pump Fund has their own AMM, which is their own automated market maker. And it's essentially competitive with stuff like Radium and Meteora and all that stuff. So you've got to wait for essentially the price action to catch up with Meteora. But actually just scaled you out, so I'll let you talk.
Yeah. So I am now scaled out of my position. We had a good time. We opened it at just about the top of this curve at the all-time high. We've had a new all-time high. I'm going to close my position because now I'm entirely soul-sided. I've got 4,700 Braveheart in fees. I've closed my position, and as you'll see at the top of my screen, is I've got a button to view my P&L. So I'll tap that, and you're going to get these beautiful P&L cards that show you just how cool of a job you did that you can share and brag about with all of your friends.
Yes. Let's hope it's not a rug.
All right. So,
oh my God,
Braveheart Soul. Fees. Oh, those juicy fees. Only at 3.7%, but that's because I went for a little bit more of a conservative, wider range. And hey, I can go to my local McDonald's now.
Even better yet, you can get I think you can get at least 2 SodaStream syrups.
2 SodaStream syrups. Yep.
If anyone doesn't know, we're carbonation maxis here at Starseed.
Yes, sir. Do we have any of the sound?
Gas. No, we don't. Yeah, we should actually have some here.
Yeah. That'd be fun. That's
a great way to start the stream. Yeah.
But we have different settings here. You could change what art style you want to look at in terms of P&L cards, and you can also enable or disable some of the details on your P&L cards. So maybe sometimes people don't want to show all of this information because it's very specific, and people on the blockchain can, if you're a real good blockchain sleuth, you can kind of look and scan through the data to find people's specific wallet addresses just by knowing how much they deposited, what they withdrew, or what their fees were. So if you wanted to stay a little more anonymous in your P&L cards, you can hide that information and just show off your P&L. So those are some options that are awarded to you. But yeah, then you can download your P&L card or copy it and paste it into Discord, Telegram, or email it to your mom.
Yep. Or paste it on LinkedIn too. We can't forget that.
Yeah, you could have your active employment role as market maker, and then just copy and paste a whole bunch of different P&L cards.
Oh yeah.
Into that position.
Oh, your launch coin one is actually performing very nicely.
Yeah, launch coin, and looks like that was a good time to get out of Braveheart, or maybe not. I'd be back in position and making more fees.
Well, actually, you still have your about $7 worth of Braveheart left.
Ooh, that's right.
So you could do a little scale out action, I guess. See what happens.
Push the button now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's do the medium option. I've never tried the medium option before.
No, yeah, I've always done fast myself.
So yeah, great. Well, now we're scaling out the rest of my Braveheart tokens, earning fees using my fees. That was super easy. Let's look over at my launch coin position. I opened this yesterday. I opened this. Oh, when did I open this? I mean, I opened it before it dumped, so it was probably about 12, 18 hours ago.
Oh my God, but the bottom of your range is almost perfect. It's just bouncing off there.
Yeah, so the best pool for this launch coin position, launch coin, right about a 40, 50 million cap market cap token, so getting to that mid cap level. And I was feeling bullish on it, so I opened it as a curve position in the best 20 bin step, 0.2% fee pool. I did the full 12% range that I could through Starseed, and I just about tapped off the bottom, and I'm most of the way up my position. So we're doing pretty good with our profits here right now on launch coin. I'm just going to keep it open, and I'll earn some juicy fees as hopefully I get scaled out.
Very nice, very nice. This is a pretty good consolidation zone, I think, for launch coin. A lot of people seem to be adding here.
Yep. And like I'm not looking at a super long time frame, but a few days here looking at the 5-minute time chart, and you do have that point of control right around the top of my range. So if we consolidate between 49 mil and 46 million,
yeah,
I'll be making a lot of good fees on that.
Oh baby. Yeah, no, that'll be a good play, I imagine.
So let's look back at Braveheart, because I think I am about out of range.
Wow.
Dang.
Wow, that was the play of the day. My God.
So you'll see
the entire Starseed treasury into this play.
God darn it. Yeah. What are we doing? What are we doing?
I don't know. Yeah. What are we doing here?
It's all about the fees, though. But
yes, it is.
So let's talk a little bit about what we're seeing right now with our card and the LP positions widget. I've got my position only $6.74 of liquidity, but you'll see that I've got about a 7% profit it's showing. So what the Starseed P&L tracker does is that it will show you what your P&L is, whether that's because of your tokens appreciating in this case, or also including the fees that you're earning through the DLMM position. So in this case, because I only put in tokens, I'm not earning a whole lot of fees here because it's a smaller position, but most of my profit in this P&L calculation is through the token appreciating. Just an interesting little tidbit.
Yep, very nice, very nice. Any other cool plays that you spot?
Nothing that is too zany. I'm gonna close this one out real quick.
Yep.
Get my $6 in Sol.
Oh, baby.
Let's go back to my layout.
I guess this is also a good way to showcase how you can easily switch between various layouts. Very seamless process.
That's right. So just a quick swap from the scale out to my default trading layout, which has my top pools widget and my top traded widget to scope out new market opportunities. And you can also save your custom layouts by tapping the layouts button and giving your layout a name. So I've got my default, my go-to daily driver, Starseed OS. And then if I just want to monitor my portfolio, I have a hodler in chief layout that lets me see my recent transactions in case I want to look at any of those, my token holdings. If I have any Jupiter perpetuals open, I'd be able to see that on this dashboard layout. And then, of course, LP positions for monitoring my active DLMM positions. But
very nice, very nice.
You can switch between those different layouts on the fly. So anything else happening in the market right now?
No, but clearly the stream was bullish because crypto's kind of green right now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no, that's good. Starseed is bullish for the market. Now I'm looking at the plays right now. I don't see anything that immediately pops out at me. Colors could be interesting, but apparently Elon tweeted some sort of British flag. And now that token is kind of running.
Yeah.
Of course. Color is the future of finance.
I mean, it's kind of a make or break moment. I don't like to enter tokens or enter DLMMs token sided. I'm usually enter most of the time in my positions by taking my Sol and doing a Sol sided DLMM. But if you were interested in this meme, like you could take the risk, buy some of the tokens and then enter them into a bid ask position, maybe to get you back to this point of control.
Yeah, I think I haven't once gone token sided into any pool except for Sol USDC, where I put in Sol to sell. It's just too scary to me. It's way too scary. I always enter these positions with Sol.
Well, that's I think due to our temperament as DLMM traders. Like we don't usually buy low market cap tokens, you and I. We tend to DLMM them and get in and out. So if you are someone who is more of a traditional meme coin trader and is just like accumulating an actual position, like that could be just a way of making your bag work for you. If you are someone who buys tokens like this on a dip, hoping for a rebound, like you could still do that, but you can also do that with Starseed. Take that bag you've accumulated and put it into a DLMM so that you can expand your profits.
Yeah, no, you gotta push that DLM button now.
Yep. But I don't think I'm going to enter a position on colors here.
Yeah.
Because let's see, it looks like it launched, I mean, in the wee hours of the morning.
Yeah. I mean, here at Starseed, we like to promote good trading habits. So, of course, we don't want to force anything, even if it is just like to showcase something. We only want to enter in positions that seem promising, like Braveheart did previously. Now I think it's starting to potentially cool off a bit. but maybe not. Maybe it's just going to consolidate here before it does another run. I'm not exactly sure what the narrative was here.
You occasionally get to see like a token called Braveheart. Just, I mean, based on the iconic movie.
Oh yes, of course.
But yeah, I mean, it could be consolidating here for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to pontificate and give some sage wisdom about what's going to happen next with this token. But with all of these meme coins, even the ones that go to 100 million market cap, you never really know.
No, you don't. You do not.
But yeah.
If you got a promising token really early, just say you're YOLOing on new launches on like all the latest launch pads, what would be your game plan? If you held those tokens, like say you got some like super duper token at like 10K market cap, 20K market cap, what would you do with those tokens? Do you just hold them and wait for it to potentially appreciate, or do you do like any kind of damn V2, or do you put into a DLMM right away?
I mean, I think at those market caps, if you have the tokens and they're going to take off, it would be worth putting them into a Meteora DAM V2, which you can't do right now on Starseed. You can only kind of scan what some of the active. I'm going to go to blank. And I'm going to add, we have this widget called the DAM V2 Star Scanner.
Yep.
This is a widget that lets you quickly do some research on active open DAM V2 positions.
Yep. And this is only looking at stars only right now. That's what he has ticked.
Yep.
And basically those will be higher performing DAM V2 pools. Full disclosure for me personally, I prefer DLMMing, but if I get into a token really early, and I'm talking like sub 100K market cap, then I will hop into a DAM V2. And the one thing right now, currently, with DAM V2, it's double-sided. So you've got to put up Sol or USDC with whatever token you're putting up. You can't just do single-sided in here. So definitely keep that in mind. So if you, and they have to be proportional. So if you do $50 worth of token A, you've got to do $50 worth of token B. But it's a bit more concentrated than your typical pool that you would enter into. Not as concentrated as a DLMM can be, but it's more concentrated than, say, some other AMM like or CLMM on Radium or even Pump Swap. So it's definitely an interesting play if you can get in early. And there are some wild gains that people have had with it.
Yeah.
But I probably want to enter into these end game personally. Like something like Hutch, probably not.
Yeah, or LLM, which has been had explosive growth over the last few days. Like I wouldn't enter into a DAM V2 at this stage. I'd rather DLMM that. But if you did get into a token super early, you could create the DAM V2 on Meteora and enter in that position at a really low market cap. So you're entering in really cheap. And then you could potentially capture a lot of upside using that. But let's say that I bought some tokens. I didn't put them into a DAM V2. I might just open token-sided positions once it gets into a higher market cap. Like if I would, like right now, if I was in Braveheart, I might enter those tokens in right now and try exiting at a bid ask, like probably around this 1.5, 1.6 million market cap level to claim my bag without dumping the chart.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, it looks like Meteora just put out an announcement. The season 1 points are now final. Starseed users 8 I think. 8 this airdrop.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think especially with prolific amount of activity throughout the year using like the top pools widget.
Oh yeah.
People found a lot of really exciting plays to make some good money on. So hope you all enjoy your Met points and your eventual Met tokens.
Yep. I think it's going to be one of probably the greatest airdrops of the year, hopefully. I'm very bullish for it. I'm very bullish on Starseed and Meteora.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So any questions from anyone? We're happy to answer. But if not, it looks like could be a potential good stopping point, unless there's anything else you think we need to touch upon.
I mean, we've covered the basics with DLMMing, so
yeah,
you're now equipped with the tools and resources to go out into the great wide cryptoverse, ape into tokens, and hopefully earn some juicy fees with Starseed.
Yeah. Get those season 2 points, baby. I just gotta say, I'm really excited for when we do launch automation. That's going to be a fun way to play around with DLMMing.
It's going to make scale out just a much better tool and much more accessible tool. Because I think like having something like stop loss and take profits, like there's so many times when if I would be using that, I'd be using automation right now on this launch coin position.
Oh yeah, it'd be perfect for this, especially if you had something like swapless rebalancing. Like, look at all the bins you have right now to the left of the current price that are doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
like you could make those bins work more efficiently with something like swapless rebalancing because it's going to be set a tighter range and it's going to automatically always like just rebalance them, so it's always closer to the current price. So you can actually go tighter with stuff like that compared to doing it manually.
Yep, and something as well, like I opened this position 12-ish hours ago. Like my goal with opening this position is just to accumulate my launch coin bag, expecting that at some point there'll be some cool updates in the ecosystem and it'll eventually pump up again above $100 million market cap. So I'm just trying to accumulate a bag so that I can really appreciate the upside later on. But like what I'd want to do is I open the position here. I collected my fees all the way down. I hope we consolidate for a little bit here, but eventually when we pump out a range, I want to close that position and realize those gains. So with automation, I'd like to have a worker going so that once I pump out, it just automatically closes the position and I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, no, that's going to be a game changer, I think. And it should onboard a lot of people that don't typically DLMM, just because it kind of takes away the need to really understand stuff at a very fine degree, in my opinion, just because you're essentially letting the platform do it for you. So I think if you're not well versed or you don't exactly have a great trading strategy in mind, automation like that definitely does help. Stuff like take profit, stop loss, I think it's an absolute game changer.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, let's see. Anything else? I'm not seeing any other comments come in. Oh boy. Yeah. What is this BVM? What is that?
ByteDance video mode.
Oh,
yeah, just a fresh launch.
Yeah. See, oh, this is actually a good thing to look out for. See that one huge green candle in the beginning, like someone's trying to extract there. That looks weird, especially on the 1 second chart. It's like someone definitely aped into that to try and get it onto various volume scanners potentially.
Yeah, and so this is just a very fresh launch that popped up just a couple minutes ago. And so like I'm not going to ape into this right away. one, because I haven't done any due diligence on it. Like, I'd want to check to make sure it's not going to rug. But even then, like, I don't like DLMMing tokens that are 150K market cap, because it could very easily get rug pulled, and then you lose all of your liquidity.
Yeah, no, we don't want that.
But with Starseed and like the price chart widget, I'm able to pull open and have on standby a lot of different charts for a lot of different tokens. So it might just be something I watch over time and like think about a position. After I do a little more research, maybe see if there's a reason why there's a ByteDance video mode. Maybe there's something on Twitter, on CT, that could help indicate whether I should be bullish on something like this. But it's the beauty of Starseed. It just makes it super easy to track a lot of different action happening at once.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, what's happening with our boy Uranus?
Oh, is it pumping? Oh, wow.
It's been
wow,
doing
the
good.
4 mil range was actually our third. Where was it? Like mid 30 mil is where it bottomed out at. That was a generational bottom on this. Oh my god! See, that's a perfect consolidation zone that you kind of see on Uranus.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely fantastic. Actually, that's a good plug. We actually have done stuff with the Uranus community, both with the Uranus community and through Meteorite Collective. Fantastic folks. Vesper actually helped set up a lot of that stuff. And she's probably the main voice you see behind Meteorite Collective, which is essentially Meteora's volume bringing arm. But yeah, no, we did stuff with them. They kind of actually reached out to Vesper trying to find a way to reduce big cells on the chart, and we created scale out as a way to address that issue. Hopefully, like all those whales would use scale out instead of just like straight dumping the chart.
Yeah,
and it's worked. We've gotten quite a few whales to use it. Which is great because I think we released the feature where like around the 30 mil market cap, like 30, 36, 40 mil market cap.
I think in the 40s sometime.
Yeah. So I mean, if they all use scale out, I mean, they're in pretty good profit right now.
So we got a mid cap token like Uranus. If you wanted to enter a position, what would you be looking at right now?
I would probably comfortable opening up a position that goes down as far as maybe 45 mil.
Mm-hmm.
So if you actually, if you go to your chart right now and you click the button all the way on the left, fifth from the top. Yeah, click that. And then, oh no, sorry. Click the little arrow by it and go to price range. Yeah. And then you can kind of click where it's the current price, that 58 million, and then drag your mouse down and you can kind of see how far down you want to go for your range. So here, I mean, you could go to the 33 mil. I feel like that could actually be a great consolidation zone in case like Sol corrects a bit. We could probably drop down there. I would probably be a bit more degen and go to maybe 44, 45 mil. Yeah, something like right there. I feel like that could be a decent range. Essentially anywhere where the volume profile has big bars, I feel like that'd be a decent range to be in.
Yeah, and this is a great way to figure out like what your price deviation is if you're trying to open a position through Starseed. Because I know that can be some kind of tricky math, and not tricky math, but just like, oh, you have to quickly think like, oh, what is actually a minus? How do I get from 58 mil market cap to 45? Like, don't do the math. Check the price range.
Yeah. Yeah, we want to make it as simple as possible for you. Yeah, no need to complicate it. Because I mean, getting into DLMing is quite the learning curve to begin with. But we want to simplify it.
So I've got, I think if I open a position, I might do about minus 30%.
All right. So you want to be a bit more conservative here.
Little more conservative, because
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
At the end of the day, like preserving treasury can be a win in and of itself.
Yeah. And when he says treasury like that, he does not mean Starseed treasury. We do not gamble our treasury on stuff like this.
Oh yeah.
He just means his wallet.
Yeah, and surprise, this whole time I've been using the Starseed treasury. Okay, so we got a range in mind. I've got Uranus pulled up in the top pools.
Okay, kinky.
So let's see, we've got 20 bin step, 100 bin step. And actually, if we're thinking this would be a longer term position, maybe like look at a 3-hour candle.
Yep. And of course, the higher time frame you go, it can sometimes take a bit longer to load. But in this case, that was actually fairly quick.
Surprise!
Just for the stream.
Let's see. So with Starseed right now, it is one important thing to note is when opening a position, we still kind of confined our platform to opening positions into that old 69 bin step range. You can't do the full dynamic positions that let you open up to 1400 bins.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm thinking about a position and I want to open through Starseed, if I'm thinking about a position that I want to capture about a 30% downside,
yeah,
I wouldn't be able to use this 0.2% bin step or this 20 bin step pool because that only captures about 12%. I could get away with a 50 bin step, maybe.
That could be an interesting one. Yeah, actually decent volume through that one, all things considered.
You have decent volume. So something that I'm doing right now, I'm just kind of making the sausage right now and thinking about what I'm verbally processing, what I'm thinking mentally, is I'm trying to do some calculations in my math. What's going to be more profitable, this 100 bin step or this 50 bin step pool? And so what I'm looking at is what is the level of volume going through the pools? What is the liquidity in each of the pools? How many fees are each of the pools earning? And so if you looked at it proportionately, I think the 50 bin step pool is outperforming the 100 bin step here, just in terms of how much profitability is the liquidity making.
So which one do you think you're going to go with?
This 50 bin step pool is pretty interesting.
And are you opening this position thinking that's going to be a multi-day type position?
Multi-day, yeah.
Yep.
So let's do a little bit of soul. I think I'll do that as a spot position. It puts in Starseed's recommended range, but I'm not using that because I'm thinking this will be multi-day position.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll put in 30% price deviation.
And you're going to stick with the, you might have to go smaller with the 50 actually.
Yeah, I might have to do 25.
Yeah. And you wanted to stick with the curve, right?
Oh, did it show up as a curve?
Oh, sorry. You wanted to stick with the spot, right?
Yep, I did spot.
When you're doing multi-day, do you typically like spot more?
I think so, especially if I'm doing soul-sided. You could do. I think I would do either spot in this case if I think it's going to range between 57 and I do about 43 million around that point of control. I think a bid ask might have also worked here if I was doing a multi-day position. maybe what I could have done is a bid ask. If I think it could cool off and go back to 43 mil, maybe to 40 mil. Then you could do what's called a bid ask flip, where the DLMM goes through my entire range, maybe goes out of range in the bottom side. Then I close that DLMM. It'll show up as a loss, technically, depending on the fee action and the volume.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I close that bid ask at the bottom, and then I reopen it as a spot or bid ask token sided, so that as the chart pumps back up, I'm actually catching appreciation on the token in addition to DLMM fees. So that's one way to get more use out of your bag, out of your liquidity.
Yeah, no, that is a very good idea. A good thing to keep in mind.
So it seems like it was a good idea to not go into BVM.
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah, see that's just full on rug. Yeah, usually when you see that huge green candle where they bond it from basically launch, that's always like a huge red flag to me.
And I think sometimes I think it's a little more difficult with the super micro cap tokens that are below 200,000 market cap. But if you see that on a random meme coin, it launches and it's suddenly at $1 million market cap, $5 million market cap, and you just see that green candle at launch, you can tell that there was some kind of manipulation going on.
Oh yeah.
And they're just literally, whoever made that token is waiting for people, good stewards of the ecosystem and liquidity makers, or liquidity providers and market makers. Those scammers are just waiting for people to put up liquidity in a DLMM or AMM before they pull the rug.
Yep.
So yeah, if you're a situation where you see a token, it pumps straight to $1 million market cap, I avoid that 100% of the time. And like 90% of the time, that's the right decision.
But what about that 10%?
I mean, if I aped into every position like that, I wouldn't have any capital to play for that 10%.
Right, then we actually really would have to dip into the treasury. Oh man.
Oh, Braveheart.
Oh jeez.
So that would have been a good one to have kept open.
Maybe you should have done the slow and steady scale out for this one.
Oh baby, turn my $7 into $8.
Yeah. Another SodaStream bottle secured.
That's right.
At this point, I feel like we need to have at least a sponsorship from either SodaStream or DrinkMate with how much we plug them.
If there are any viewers out there right now that are connected to SodaStream, connected to DrinkMate, heck, I would even take a partnership with Ninja, because they also have, I think, carbonation machines.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of those companies are coming out now with the carbonated machines. There seems to be a decent push for it now.
Yep. DrinkMate's come out with some new designs for their tech.
Oh, actually?
I think so. Yeah, they have some new machines. I think some of, like Ninja, I think they have like the Ninja Duo or something.
Yeah.
And it's something that like lets you put in.
Is it pods?
Something like that. Yeah, like different combinations of flavors that just inject into the drink more easily. Something like that.
Yeah.
I think DrinkMate's doing something kind of similar, but I'm not in the market for new machines. So
no. I don't plan on buying any new machines. Actually, like I got that CO2 tank, which has been absolutely phenomenal, but has also increased my carbonated chaos consumption. But after that, I feel like I don't really need anything else aside from syrups.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to Starseed. We can talk about carbonated chaos for hours probably. We could do a whole session on it.
Yeah, that'll be the next
Academy.
Yep, next Starseed Academy, DLMMing with bubbles.
Yes.
So
are you going back in?
I might go back in. Yeah.
Yeah.
I might do a bid ask position. I don't know. It's always
Bid ask down to point of control or the 1.5 million mark, or what were you thinking?
I was thinking more about this 1.5 million mark.
1.5 million.
If I went to the point of control, that could also be valid. I'd be tempted to do a spot position in that case.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'd be thinking that I'm more bearish, or I want to be able to capture some fees sooner.
I think usually at this point where it keeps running up like this is where I start showing a bit more interest, and I'll start going on socials to see what's up.
Yeah.
Prior to this, I think we were just trading volume. Like we actually didn't know anything about the social sentiment here. But now it's getting interesting. And what I'm seeing is this actually might be somewhat of a charity token in a way, where they're giving all the fees to apparently this 14-year-old girl that got attacked.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is we're DLMMing for a good cause.
I think so, maybe. There are other aspects of the story that I won't go into detail just because it's highly politicized. But
well, we're not playing politics. We're just playing volume here. So
we just care about fees.
Is that political? we can move on. We can move on.
That's a philosophical discussion for the next Starseed Academy. Let's not get canceled yet, Razor. But yeah, no, I guess this could be a decent one. What's the volume looking like? It's still in the low 100Ks, low 6 figs. Oh my God, where's the volume coming out with Sonic? Like that just came out of nowhere. That's a name I haven't seen in a very long time. Oh, we're almost at 400 viewers. Cool. Cool is running. Uranus looking pretty good.
So in this kind of situation, like if I just happened to, I pulled up the chart just as it pumped from like 75K up to over 100K. Like that'd have been a really good candidate to have quickly bought some tokens through the Jupiter swap widget and then go over to Meteora to open a damn V2 maybe.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That'd have been a good play for that. Because if you did that quick enough, like you would have already made back your money just on fees that probably going from.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. And I think the beauty of getting in tokens early with a damn V2 is that you can actually do small buys. Like there are a lot of people that I've seen that have done less than a sol, even less than like 0.5 sol or 0.2 sol. And they've come out with crazy gains.
Yeah. Yeah, people have different strategies when it comes to the damn V2. Some of them will really do scattershot machine gun style, where they're trying to get into basically anything or everything that has just a tiny amount of promise. But this would have been great for this would have been perfect for a damn V2. Like you could have put in 0.1 sol and easily made that back in fees by now.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Plus capturing the upside and appreciation of the token. That's kind of the cool thing is like, yeah, I feel like you lose barely any of your capital in a damn V2 when the token like 2x's or 3x's.
Yeah, no, the way they've set it up is actually really nice if you're able to get in early. And I believe with the Meteora TGE or the Met token launch, it's going to be through a damn V2 that you can opt to claim your tokens in. It's going to be very interesting. I think once single-sided damn V2 comes into play, that's going to really like change up the game.
Yeah, I'm really curious how that's going to work.
Yeah.
Because what's interesting with the damn V2 is that right now you're able to set the fees that you earn in the quote token, which for 99% of the time, the quote token just means SOL. So you'll put you set up your damn V2 right now, 50% token, 50% SOL, but you're earning all your fees in SOL, which is really attractive because you can just kind of hold your position. You earn your fees, and if you want to exit at some point, you can exit. But in this case, like you would have probably made back your initial investment by now, just from damn V2 fees.
Oh yeah.
And so you could just choose to let it ride. And if this goes to like multi-million status, you'll have made a killing. But how will it work if Meteora releases when Meteora releases tech that lets you do a single-sided damn V2? I guess you won't accumulate as much upside from because you won't be holding the tokens anymore. But yeah, it'll be interesting. So something that's cool, just back to Starseed Tech real quick, is that I'm watching this. My eyes are glued to this cool chart right now, but the corner of my eyes watching my Braveheart position.
Yeah, how's that looking chart-wise?
Chart-wise, well,
we see that. Yeah, it's kind of scaling
like,
into
I'm getting into the range.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, if the narrative for Braveheart really picks up on socials, which I guess it might be, because that community seems to be pushing it, seems to be an active community from what I'm seeing, that could be a decent runner or a decent consolidation candidate, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of you gotta wait and see, because like sometimes you'll think that a token has a narrative, but I mean the gas is fizzling out, especially if this is like, I guess I don't know if this one's connected to Elon or not.
This one is not. No, yeah, that was the
BVM
color one, I think.
The color, yep.
Yeah,
that was the color one. Sometimes you have to be careful with the Elon tokens because they will.
Oh yeah.
As quick as they come is as quick as they'll go. And something else you got to watch out for too is multiple people trying to capitalize on the narrative. And so people might launch multiple tokens, and then you get into a PvP situation, which I absolutely detest.
Yeah. And when he means PvP, he doesn't mean like within the pool. He means like the same token is launching on Pump, on Bags, on Bonk, and you're PvPing other communities. And that's where it gets intense. I think, when was the last time that happened, that where it was like really crazy? Was it like a Doge token that launched on Bags and then the Bonk platform? And they were kind of like both at the same market cap, and they were getting the same amount of volume. But then eventually one died, and then the other followed suit shortly.
Yeah, that was hugely prevalent like a month ago, 3 weeks ago. Whenever the Bonk pad kind of overtook Pump Fun as the preeminent launch pad in terms of volume activity for like the day or the week. Whenever Bonk had flipped Pump, and Bags was kind of entering into public consciousness, like you were seeing a lot of tokens a lot of tickers that would launch on Pump, on Bonk, on Bags, and volume would be cycling between them. Ooh, wow, that's an insane candle.
Yeah, wow, Jesus.
Yep. So in this kind of situation, I'm thinking like, oh, I'm gonna close my position and reopen because we're getting some exciting new volume right now.
And yeah, you're totally scaled out. You're out of range now.
Yep. So I'm gonna open another position, let that go in, and I'm gonna clip my fees. to secure the bag, secure the profit, secure the win.
Oh my God! Wow, what are these candles?
Yeah.
Jeez, that is looking nice.
Yeah, I'm probably already out of range, so I'm actually going to open another position to kind of chase the top.
Yep.
So just observe the speed and fluidity at which I'm executing these actions. This is something where I like, yes, it's biased because we work with Starseed, but this is something where I view Starseed as a use case as really shines compared to Meteora, is with the speed I'm able to open and close positions.
Oh yeah, no, that was super fast. Actually, right now the Meteora pool that you're in has more liquidity than Pump Swap. Meteora is providing more liquidity on this token than their own AMM, which I always find that funny whenever I see that.
Yeah, I think it took me probably about only 30 seconds to open and close 2 positions.
Oh, Elon Musk just commented on one of the posts about this girl. So I guess that's what caused this volume. So this is now an Elon tweet token.
It is now an Elon token, so viewer beware. I'm in danger.
Oh God, get up. No. People are saying this is Peanut 2.0.
They say that for everything. Oh my God, that's terrible. That's terrible.
It's always synonymous too. Like, yeah, we're building the next pancake swap.
Oh dear.
Like, okay, that's bullish. So I guess this probably would have been a good candidate to go in with some size. Of course,
I think so. I think so. Yeah. Like, especially there would have been like really good potential as that green candle spiked to have done some tighter curves with size. If you wanted to be really, really edgy, do a really tight curve, like
heart attack strat. Is that what I'm hearing?
some people would be heart attacking this right now, I bet. Something that let's see, I got my filter open for Uranus still on the top pools widget. One thing I just wanted to call attention to is on the Meteora page for the token right now, is the dynamic fee for this pool.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So the base fee right now is 1.5%, which in itself is a pretty good, like, it's decent for this type of pool at its current market cap. But with all that spike in volume, it's gone up to 4%, which means the fees are especially juicy right now.
Yeah, geez. I can see why people go into the lower base fee pools on some of these tokens instead of starting off right away at like 5 or 10%.
Yep.
Because I mean, that dynamic, I feel like for the most part, the dynamic fee is ticking up like crazy. Especially with the Meteora having most of the liquidity, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, no, this definitely was a good size candidate. Good play.
So maybe explain a little bit, like, in terms of doing pool selection, why would it be valuable to go into a pool that has a majority of the liquidity?
Just because. Were you going to say something?
Because like, there's going to be situations where it would make sense to go into the pool that has the highest amount of liquidity, even if you don't think it's like the best ratio of bin step versus fee, versus a situation where you were talking about, an hour or so ago, was like, man, I could go into a 5 bin step 1% pool and probably print right now. Like, what are the sort of trade-offs or pros and cons, the decision-making process about why you would go in for one versus the other?
Yeah, for sure. So I guess that's a good point to mention how Jupiter works. So Jupiter's swap router works on something called the METIS router, or METIS, and basically it prioritizes liquidity. So wherever there's more liquidity, that's where it'll route your trade. So if you go into a 5-1 pool right now, you just create a new one for Braveheart, which is the 5 bin step 1% fee pool. Unless you're putting up a decent amount of capital, you likely won't be as competitive as, say, the highest liquidity pool that Razor's in right now, which is the 125 bin step 1.5%. Just because there's so much thick liquidity there right now in each of those bins. If someone is swapping through Jupiter, it will route through Razor's pool most likely and in his active bins. So that's the benefit of going into one of these pools. So over time, the math works out that thanks to all the volume that's going through this pool, even though you might have a small portion of it, you'll still get great fees. So that's the benefit of going into one of these pools right now with a thick liquidity in it. Things are just getting prioritized through here. And you actually see you've already made what, $16 in fees right now. Like that's pretty good. And it's just been in the top, I think, 2 or 3 bins of your range.
No,
So
yeah,
like imagine if it went through the entire thing a few times.
Yeah, that's some pretty decent fees considering I didn't do a super tight position.
Yeah.
I went about 20% or something, which sometimes 20% is risky, sometimes it's conservative. So I just claimed the fees right now for that, and I think I'm gonna try scaling those fees out.
I mean, a 4% gain, that's pretty good. You outperformed the market for the day.
Yeah. So I'm gonna scale those fees out. Actually, I'm gonna go for a medium. Let's see. Okay, did switch over. Great.
Cool, and created it.
Created my position. Now let's go back to my dashboard.
If anyone saw that failed to fetch positions there, that's typically because Meteora's API might be a bit slow or lagging, or there could be some error on their end. But here it popped up, which is great.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to refresh the page a little bit or go flip it back and forth between a different layout.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So yeah, I think I'll close my old position now. Well, that's not good.
What's happening?
Oh, failed to fetch, but it did that after I clicked the close position button, so I still got my wallet transaction that just went through.
Classic. Oh, there it closed, right?
Yep, there it closed. I'm gonna get my P&L.
Did you do the clip out or?
I just did. I just closed the position because I already claimed my fees on the position, so there wasn't much to clip. Let's see. I wonder if my scale out went through.
Well, it looks like one transaction failed there when you look at your recent transactions, right?
Yeah, so that one might have failed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I still got it here. So I'm gonna open the position again. Play with my fees.
Just the fees.
Making fees on fees with Starseed.
Yeah, Meteor's API must be like overloaded right now. And we could be running into somewhat of a rate limit.
Right, those are some pretty juicy candles right now.
Okay. There. Oh, so I guess your scale out worked, right?
The position opened. I'm not scaled out quite yet with my $12 position.
I think that's just because it kind of sold off there, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the one thing about scale out. You need to have buying pressure for it to work. So if it's like selling off while you're scaling out, then it won't scale you out unless it's like it's opening you up right at the bottom of a big sell.
Yep. So in this case, if I was interested in just quickly exiting the position, like scale out would not have been the right tool for the job. I would have used the Jupiter swap widget on the page to quickly sell off my tokens. But in this case, I'm feeling bullish that we'll at least go back to that all-time high level. And at that point, my position will scale me out.
Yeah, narrative seems decent at least.
So far, the Uranus position's doing okay. It's dipped into my range a little bit. I've made a little bit of fees. It's a pretty wide position, so it's not that impressive at the moment, but I will just casually monitor the position over the next few hours, maybe even in the coming days, to see what happens.
Perhaps we can check up on it during the next Starseed Academy if it's still open.
Yeah, we will see. We will see. That would be pretty sweet and pretty juicy. Well, we'll have to see, because like if we go out of range on the upside, I'll probably close my position, maybe consider re-entry, but I don't know. I don't have long-term plans at the moment for that position. Like ideally, I think I just want to accumulate a little bit of a bag with Uranus. I'm generally feeling bullish about Solana and the Solana ecosystem and some of these tokens like Launchcoin and Uranus. I think like we'll have to see what the month of September brings. It's like if you listen to CT, there's a lot of people who always say September is usually bearish, which I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, no, I mean, I kind of hear the same thing, and then you kind of run into the end of the year, but I don't know. I am kind of open to at least secure some kind of long position on these dips. Like I said, I've been scalping Coinbase whenever it dips to around 300. I just feel like in general, any kind of sell-off will be probably juicy to go long on just when rate cuts do come along.
Yeah,
I feel like all these risky assets should run.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm feeling bullish, at least for the rest of the year. If we get rate cuts in September or October, that's going to cause some really big green candles. Like, if I look at this, if I look at the Solana chart, don't look at the dip. Don't look at the dip back down to 190. But let's see, 22nd. Was it the 22nd?
The 22nd.
Yeah, that was last Thursday, I think.
Yeah. I mean, that's a massive run we just had.
Yeah.
Like absolutely biblical run.
And so this is when U.S. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell made some announcements that said some changes to interest rates may be appropriate soon, which has been a kind of a change in his demeanor from earlier in this year.
Mm-hmm.
So when he made that announcement at Jackson Hole, that's when we got this really huge pump from 177 up into 195, and that's just been cycling up. Retracing now, but I'm watching to go back into the 170s before opening a long position. And that's me taking a kind of a more conservative approach. Like, we've had good consolidation here. So maybe this is the bottom, maybe not.
Yeah, I was kind of waiting for the lower 180s to mid 170s before going long. Just trying to time the bottom there.
Yeah.
We have Nvidia earnings tomorrow, which could be quite a doozy for the market if that doesn't meet expectations. So I'd be watching that. Has a potential to cause a market-wide sell-off if it's really bad. Ooh, baby, Braveheart. I guess this is a good example. So it's like just going down, so the scale out isn't really working in his favor. We're just kind of hoping that it goes back up into that range and would scale him out. Like eventually, when we have the automation, you could have a stop loss on this thing. So like if it actually doesn't scale you out, it just cuts you off right away.
Yeah. Yeah. And so at the moment when I opened this this scale out position, let's see, it was probably like right about here on this red candle. I opened it and it immediately kind of went through the bottom of my range. Went back up into my range. So I started collecting some fees, but like I didn't go out of range on the upside. And since I'm just playing with fees right now and a real small amount of fees, I'm just okay with kind of watching the chart and seeing what happens with it. But if you are concerned about preserving your profits and getting out and securing your profits, like this could be a situation where you've opened your position through scale out, you're watching the chart, maybe you're not feeling so optimistic about it anymore. You could choose to clip it right here and swap everything over to Sol and move on with your life.
Pretty good stuff.
Let's see. Anything else happening?
Nothing else that looks like it could be a potential runner from what I've seen. Maybe microwave, but I don't know. That really ran.
Yeah, this is a weird one. Launched, it went to basically zero, which is always recovered. Then it recovered sharply.
Sometimes that's always scary because there are some cabals out there and FNFs, which are friend and family groups, that will find these old tokens that are completely died, and then they just kind of CTO it real quick, or they'll just throw in a lot of SOL to get on volume scanners, and then other people come in and then they just dump it on them. So you always got to be on the lookout for stuff like that.
Yep.
Here, I'm not sure what this one is. I'm assuming it's just some sort of meme.
So now I'm looking at my top traded, and I'm seeing 2 dig tokens.
Oh, classic.
They look like they both rugged.
They dug their grave.
But we need to get the soundboard in here.
Yeah, we really do need soundboards. Anything else you think?
Yeah, so I'm gonna clip my Braveheart fees right here.
Yeah, just take the win, right?
Just take the win. I'm already
Those are
down
just
$1.
The fees too, right?
Yeah, but these are just fees. So
here's the fees.
Clip my position back into Sol. I'm a happy camper because I made money today.
Yeah, no, this was a good stream. You got paid to stream. That's good. Oh yeah, Uranus is looking decent. Microwave could have been a good scalp, but I don't know.
Yeah, on this one, without knowing the narrative, like doing a really fast in and out scalp might have been advantageous, but you are playing with risk there, knowing that it just kind of started taking off an hour ago. So there's definitely going to be some people who probably are up 100x, 50x at least, taking profits.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. They're trying to send it to 2 mil in the community, but I mean, a lot of it is just moon boy speak that I kind of ignore for the most part. Unless I see like it's a really big account trying to push it, then okay, maybe it could be interesting, but I don't know. I'm not sure about this one. It doesn't seem as good as Braveheart.
Yeah.
But that one looks like it kind of cooled off for now.
It's consolidating. Just a healthy retrace.
Yeah, just a healthy retrace. Any other goodies? No, I don't think I see anything. DBR is kind of running, but I don't know if I'd play that one.
Yeah, you get tokens like D-Bridge.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay, yeah,
man,
let's
so
not touch this one.
That one showed up because, well, I mean, it had a lot of appreciation.
Yeah, let's not go into D-Bridge.
But also with a token like this is that there's already so much liquidity. It's like at least $3 million of liquidity here, that your fees earned are probably not going to be super great. So even if you have a token that's showing up nicely in the top traded widget or the top pools widget, like you have to balance the risk and reward there.
Yeah, agreed. And I feel like for the most part, I want to say like those tokens for like Wormhole, D-Bridge, those types of protocols, the volume on their token isn't that juicy.
Yeah.
Wow, LLM really gave up its gains. I feel like the last time I saw it, it was above 20 mil. And the last time I saw it was yesterday, like sometime last night.
Yeah, it was just about this time yesterday, actually. Damn. Yeah, about 24 hours ago. It is giving up its gains, but you know, I mean, in terms of a meme, it had its life cycle.
Yeah. Did you end up playing it at all?
I didn't. I saw it at around a 4 million market cap, which I was just busy in the day. And it's like,
yeah.
I typically like to actively monitor my positions, not just set and forget. And I wasn't able to be seated at my computer or stare at my phone, so I avoided that. Man, there would have been so many juicy opportunities for some juicy gains.
Yeah, lots of juicy gains there. Now, will it go back up? I'm not sure. I don't know if the narrative for this is going to stick around or not.
Yeah, it was kind of a big deal for the bags, or not the DAO.fun ecosystem.
Mm-hmm. The DAO by, I think, Bowski.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. Interesting AI capital market type meta. And it's on Meteora DBC too, which is pretty sweet.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We are Meteora Maxis. Putin's dog. Okay.
Yeah. Putin's dog, Bernie.
Oh God. Oh God, yeah. Now, see that those big green candles at the beginning. Definitely don't want to touch that.
Let's see. We were watching another token earlier. I think I think I closed out of it though.
The microwave was the only one that I was kind of interested in to see what happens. Yeah, no.
It's doing decent. This would have been a good one to deal on them, I think.
Yeah, actually, wow.
I wouldn't have stuck around. I wouldn't have stuck around very long, but
yeah.
Microwaved about 100K volume in 5 minutes.
It's sad because, you know, when you play tokens like Easy, it has millions upon millions of volume in 5 minutes. I think it was doing what, like over 5 million volume or 5 or 10 million volume in just 5 minutes. And you played that, and then you go back to 100K volume, less than 100K. It's so painful sometimes.
Yep. Yeah, but sometimes these slower ones are the where you make the money, just because there isn't as much liquidity. You're able to concentrate better. You're actually able to range and make fees.
No, for sure.
Whereas with Easy, you know, doing a vamp strategy with a 5 bin step 1% pool.
Who would do that though?
Who would do that? Who would do that? What kind of moron would do that? Open that kind of pool on a token like that?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be him.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, 3% pool.
Yeah.
Very conservative, very safe.
Yeah, this actually would have been a decent one.
Yeah, because we spotted it around like 1.2, 1.5.
Yep.
Volume is kind of actually picking up a little bit.
Yeah, the community for it seems to be fairly active. It's that microwave meme, basically.
All right, so we've got 2 pools in for microwaved right now. We have a choice between a 100 bin step 1% and a 200 bin step 10%. 10% pools can be really juicy.
Oh, God, yeah.
But really, you'd only play those during like peak volatility after a launch. Or what I've seen people do successfully is set up a wide bid ask with the 10% pools. Go in soul-sided, 10% pool, maybe minus 70, minus 80% range, so that you're collecting those big fees all the way down. And then once you've bottomed out, you do that bid ask flip into the smaller fee pool so that you can get scaled out easier.
Yeah, that would be a pretty good play on something like this potentially. And if you do that like minus 70 or minus 80% with a bid ask on this right now, as long as the volume going through that is like decent, you could potentially get out at break even though it's like totally scaled you into the tokens, right?
Oh, I've done that a lot. Yeah.
Even with slippage, if you had to like dump all your tokens, you still come out near break even or on top.
Yep. Nice. Yep. I mean, the 10% is just that good in terms of the fees that you get, where you can go through the bottom of your range. You could even, I think you could even get away with it doing it as a spot position sometimes.
Oh, really?
As long as it isn't like a straight rug, kind of.
Yeah. So as long as it like consolidates somewhere in between or something like that.
Yeah, but you could get away with a bid ask, or maybe you open the position on Meteora and you do like 70% bid ask, 30% spot. That position can dump to the bottom of your range, and you'll be at about break even. I like doing strategies like this when I think the token's going to dump hard off of a support level. So if the token dumps, it'll strike off bounce off the support level and go up 20, 30% from that level. and then you actually are in some pretty decent gains.
Yeah, I need to start experimenting with those really wide bid asks. Because that seems like a pretty interesting strat on these lower market cap tokens, or at least I'd consider this still a lower market cap token. I tend to just do the more insane curve. Minus 10%. Oh boy.
Actually, no, I'll keep both positions open.
You're a microwave maxi now.
Yep, I am now a proud microwave community member. But hey, for anyone out there watching the stream right now, it seems like we've got more than 450 viewers. Are there any tokens or plays that you're tracking that we should pull up on the chart? Let us know. Drop in a comment. We're interested. 67 is back. Damn.
Oh wow! I thought this died. I thought the narrative was over. Okay.
Yeah.
Why is this one back? Oh my god. Oh my god. The volume is actually kind of insane. 5-minute volume just ticked up to almost 400K.
Yeah. So you see a token like this, it's back from the dead. Getting good volume. What's your play?
Well, first I need to double check and see, like, is it a bonk type token, bags? Because I've noticed with those, some of those tokens just come out of the dead randomly, and then it nukes very quickly. And I feel like it's just some kind of group that's pumping and dumping it. Again, here I'd have to quickly check, like, I'd have to check socials. I'd have to see what's going on, who's shilling this, what's happening. I wouldn't want to enter in right away, even if the volume is really good, because it just feels scary. And like when I go to the 67 community, actually, I have no idea what's causing this pump right now. Oh, I guess Moonshot just verified it. So that's the reason for this.
That explains some of the recent volatility.
I also see some private cook groups that are posting it that I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
So that could be it.
Okay. Well, in that case, like, I don't feel super bullish about it staying at these high levels.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be a lot of people wanting that exit liquidity right now.
Yeah. They're probably just going to pump and dump or sell this news.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I think, is like it'll be a sell the news event right now. Yeah. But could be wrong. Let's see. So microwave, I was just watching my position on that. That was like midway down. Now it's back out of range.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what is it? What's the market cap right now? It's at 5.2. Okay, interesting.
I mean, this supposedly on 67. Like, it's got a bit of meme potential to it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, does it penetrate to all new highs?
That is a good question. I guess the narrative here is that it's supposedly some kind of TikTok meme.
So I don't understand the meme, but yes, I think it's a TikTok meme thing.
Yeah, and it seems like they think that this is going to run for a bit. I honestly, I have no idea. I've never seen the meme. I feel like a boomer right now.
Do we have anyone in the audience who knows what the 67 meme is? Let me order some hair dye from Amazon real quick to show up. So
yeah, I mean, you've certainly earned the fees to get some premium hair dye. Yeah, I mean, here I'd be afraid that it's just going to be a sell the news event. I feel like a lot of the moonshot listing, people typically front run it and then sell it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at like quite a few call groups. Kind of loaded up this token around the $3 to $4 million mark. So they're likely selling it what is pretty close to a 2x.
3x even. I bet a 3x, yeah. Because there's probably someone down here at the 1.7 million market cap level who got alpha that this was coming.
Yeah.
Some whales that loaded up, and then just now the moonshot announcement came out.
Yeah, so I mean, I probably wouldn't touch it myself. I feel like it's going to eventually trend back down. Now, could you have scalped that volume? Yeah, probably.
Yes. Yep, and like there would have been a good opportunity to do that, but when we talk about scalping, we're talking about very fast in and out positions, probably 2-3 minutes max. But my microwave position did pretty decent. I only put 2 SOL in, and I'm up 6%.
Ooh, cool. Microwaved. Wow. Oh my God. Whoa, you're doing decent in that position.
Yeah.
What is that? It's almost 7% gain. 6.9.
6.69. Nice.
Nice. 6 nice.
Ooh, now it is cooking. Another green candle. So I'm gonna close my position. You know, it'd be cool to have, just brainstorming, is having an option to claim your fees and automatically scale them out.
Ooh.
Straight from the LP positions widget, like a
like you close it. Yeah, that'd be cool.
It claims the fees and then scales out the position. So kind of multiple transactions involved in that, but I don't know. That'd be interesting. That would really make your fees work for you, because right now we've got the compound fees option.
Yep.
Which can sort of accomplish that depending on how you time it. But maybe I don't want to compound it into this position, which should be a pretty tight range. Maybe I'd want to do something that's a little broader. And so having a scale out fees button would be interesting.
Yeah, no, I think that would be a pretty cool tool, actually, to implement. We got to put our dev back in the cage, honestly. He's had too much freedom recently.
Not enough red 40.
Oh, wow. Honestly, on the stream, we've had quite a few good plays so far. We got, what, Braveheart, Microwaved. I don't think we did 67, right?
I didn't play 67, but I mean,
we watched it, and that
if we weren't talking about every step we were taking, like I might have been able to do a quick scalp.
Yeah,
that's more of your thing, not my thing. So, but it's coming back up, maybe.
Yeah, no, it is. It definitely is. Uranus is also looking green now.
Yeah.
Everything's looking Gucci.
We'll see if I can get my fees scaled out of this microwave position real quick. Oh, I'm out.
You're out? Oh, wow.
Yep. I might be back in now, actually, because it's kind of dipping. Let's check in on Braveheart, see how that's doing. Okay, That is the Elon effect has wore off, I think, there.
Yep. Okay, so that's good that you got out of that.
Yep.
Microwaved. Oh, did you enter microwave again?
With my fees.
Your scale? Okay, with your fees.
It's,
okay, gotcha.
It's my scale out, yeah.
Yeah. And which option did you pick for the scale out this time?
I point with medium.
Medium, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. Maybe something worth commentating on is that with scale out, you have those options for fast, medium, slow.
Mm-hmm.
But that is still restricted by the amount of bins that are in whatever pool it recommends for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, with microwaved, I'm in a 100 bin step pool. I did medium, and so I got about 5 bins, it looks like, maybe. If what Starseed ends up recommending for you is a wider bin step, and you go something with fast, like fast, medium, or slow, you might still only get a couple of bins in your position.
Yep, that's true. That's very true.
So with Sol USDC, like, yeah, you'll get a wider position. You'll be able to get a wider position with a lot of bins, but you know, for something where there isn't actually as much, if you got a 400 bin step pool, there isn't going to be as much of a difference there.
No, very true. That was a good thing to bring up, actually. Cool. Well, I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with today. Those were some really good plays.
Yeah, not bad for working with just a few Sol.
Yeah,
I think.
And that's also like what, midday too.
Yeah.
So generally a low volume market, but good plays nonetheless. That's the power of DLMMing, baby, providing liquidity.
Providing liquidity on Starseed.
Yeah, good gains. Did we show off the other P&L card we have?
Yes.
Oh, you did?
Yep. I mean, not the losing ones, because we haven't lost quite yet today.
No, we don't lose at Starseed.
But we do.
If you do lose, we have some pretty cool P&L cards.
Maybe you didn't use Starseed, you used a different platform. You still can put in your your closing transaction here and generate a P&L card. So it doesn't matter where you DLMM. If you don't want to use Starseed, but you want to use our cool P&L cards, more power to you. Just go to our website, go to the P&L card page, enter in the transaction ID for your closing position, and you too can have some pretty cool P&L cards.
Good stuff.
Well, I think I'm going to close out this microwave position and say that I had a pretty good day of trading.
Yeah, no, I think that is worth it. Are you on your dashboard right now?
Oh, yes, I am.
You were hiding the alpha from us.
I was hiding the alpha. Yep, I was sneaking away to close my positions when I thought no one was looking. Oh.
Yeah, you didn't want the copy traders coming after you.
But I closed my position.
Yeah.
Through Starseed, I can go to my profile page to see my recent activity, and also generate P&L cards from there.
Yep.
So there's my recently closed position for microwaved. I can click View P&L, and we can get P&L cards that way too. So
cool.
Maybe this one will show up as a loss or a very slight profit, just depending on when I closed the position. So maybe we will get to see the losing P&L cards.
Was this the clip out that you did, or
this was with Clip It? Yep.
Clip it.
And
Okay.
this was with my position that was just playing with fees.
Oh no! I say we don't lose here. I'm telling you,
We don't lose. No, look at those huge profits, like $1.05.
It's
Like,
crazy because it's just $1, but that's 7% right there. Like that's a decent amount when you look at it in terms of percents.
Well, and this would actually be a pretty big deal if earlier you were playing microwave and you were playing with a 5 SOL position, a 10 SOL, 20 SOL position, and you got fees with that, and you did a fast scale out with Starseed, like 7% gain on your fees, pretty huge.
And this, you use the scale out for this, right?
I use scale out for this. Yep.
Yeah. So like that's the beauty of it. So he could have just sold his bag, sure. But if you scale it out, you get some fees on top of it. So it's you're earning fees on your fees, as we've said, which is pretty cool. Like you might as well make those work for you, right? Instead of just dumping it. And then he potentially would actually lose some to slippage, which would suck. So while it could be a $13 and like 40 some cent position, like if he sells it into just your standard spot position, I mean, he could lose a couple percent to slippage there too.
And actually,
so he'll get somewhat less.
Even in our ideal scenarios, like you scale out, you open a scale out position, you enter in your token, like you had a big win, you got some tokens as fees, you go to scale them out. The ideal situation is that the price chart continues to pump up and you're selling all those tokens at a net profit. But in this situation here, I opened my scale out position. I went up and out of range, and then the token dipped and I went bottom back to my break even. I look at my deposits and withdrawals. And then I clipped it. I still made 7% doing that. And I was only opened for 5 minutes. So even that was like a pretty safe way for me to extend my gains and make my winners continue to win. It's only $1.05, but hey, it's something.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. This is the power of providing liquidity right here. And also, when it is swapping through whatever price range you select, you got to keep in mind that's also 0 slippage bin. So you're actually not losing a slippage when you're putting in, or when it's actually in the bins. Now, of course, you can lose to slippage if you're initiating that transaction, right? Which is why we had those slippage tolerances that we went through earlier. But when it's actually in the bins itself, there isn't any slippage you're experiencing there.
Great. Well, I think this was a very successful trading session, a very successful Starseed Academy.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. Very lucrative one, too.
Yeah.
If anyone followed any of the calls.
Yeah, I don't remember what I put in. I think I put 3 SOL, maybe 3.5 SOL into this Uranus position. So I don't know what I'm up for the day, but I think I went from, I think I made probably half a SOL just from trades on Starseed today.
Yeah, I think I was trying to do the math. I was like, yeah, you definitely made at least half a SOL or above that. Like I think the mental math I was doing was around maybe $100 in profit or a little above.
Yep.
So I mean that's an absolute win.
Yep. When you're only working with a few SOL in the wallet, like hey, anytime I think you make $100 is a good day.
Oh yeah, I mean relative to the size of your wallet, yeah, 100-day is like really amazing. And you only spent what, like collectively maybe an hour playing those positions? Because you were in and out like fairly quickly.
Oh yeah,
I think you subtract all our talking and whatnot.
Yeah, obviously things took a little longer because we were explaining everything we're doing and our thought process. But like actually having open active DLMM positions, like it's probably only 30 minutes of the positions themselves being opened.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. All right. Anything else you think we need to talk about or show?
I don't think so. I think we're at a pretty good moment to wrap up and end the day on a win.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. We do not want to pull a Battlefield where we keep playing until we get a loss, right?
Well, you can't end on a win streak, so
That's true. That's true. Okay, let's go find a rug. No, but really, this was, I think, a fantastic Starseed session. We got great turnout here. And I think this is, like you said, a good point to call it quits.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any final thoughts on anything?
Well,
Hopefully
you all learned a few tips and tricks today about using Starseed, DLMMing, how to spot good tokens, things to avoid, things to look for. You know, Batman and I were always around and available, so you can check us out by messaging the Starseed Twitter account. That is at Starseed Team. You can visit us on our Starseed Discord or go to the LP Army Discord and find our channel there under Community Tools. Always happy to answer questions, provide you with insights, take a look at tokens, etc. If you have feedback or ideas about Starseed, new features that we can add, things that are working really well for us, we appreciate hearing your positive feedback as well. And as a final call to action too, is with our seed token. Right now, we're still looking to get verified with our seed token on Jupiter. So I'm just going to pull that open real quick too.
Yeah, we can throw that link in chat. I actually have the link right now that I can just copy and paste a bunch of times.
Okay, yeah. That would probably work too. But if you folks happen to go on Jupiter real quick and pull up our token, we would certainly appreciate your support if you could like the token under community metrics. We have a few community likes right now, and especially if you've got a smart wallet verification, we would appreciate that support so that we can get fully verified on Jupiter.
Yes, that would be very cool. We probably can make a post about that as well later, but any bit helps.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Well, that was a good note to end it on. Once again, thank you for tuning in. We're going to do many more of these, especially when we drop the automation update. Where we'll probably do quite a few of these just to showcase that stuff. But yeah, once again, thank you to everyone that showed up. Thank you for your support. We really appreciate it. And have a great day.